We're like, okay. What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. We often talk about Trump, and it's not uncommon for folks to suggest, well, what about Biden? Which is a legitimate rebuttal. I mean, after all, Trump is not in office; President Biden is. So it's very common for folks to say, well, why don't you talk about Biden sometime? So we're going to spend this evening. As you can see, I'm actually not in my little makeshift studio, but I'm out doing a walk and talk. We're going to be talking about judging Biden. You sound like Adam Roger Curry. I'm not familiar with who that is, but we're going to be judging President Biden. Starting out right off the bat, you got 2 years, just about 2 years. He was sworn in January 21st or whatever the hell it was of 2021. So he's a few short months from 2 years in office. So we're going to start out by first asking, what would you give the guy for a letter grade? I'm going to assume that a lot of you guys, I am going to be optimistic and assume that a lot of you guys would give Biden at least a C as in Charlie. But I'm going to ask you guys, what would you give the president so far in a little bit under 2 years of office? I see Samantha Anderson. You're giving Biden an F. Now, the reason I'm asking that is because obviously when it comes to the grading scale, you cannot do any worse than an F. So would it be safe to say that you believe that Biden has done such a bad job that it is not possible for an American president to do worse? Is that what you're saying? Because F is at the bottom. Now, let me look at the comments again. An A plus. Genius SQ, you really believe that? Because just like I just pointed out with the F grade, meaning that the president cannot do any worse, an A plus also would mean he can't do any better. Are you really, I have to ask for shits and giggles, are you really believing that President Biden so far has earned an A plus as commander-in-chief? And if so, I have to ask why. All right, looking at the comments, Trump is the worst. Well, Trump was a one-term president, so if you believe Trump is the worst, he's gone. Food Guy says you cannot do any worse than, what did I say? You can't do worse than Trump. I see that from Food Guy, but somebody said you couldn't do worse than Biden. Handsome, you can do worse than F. All you need is you can do worse than F. All you need is a Trump to put in it. Wow. Okay, I got some liberals in here, and then you're always welcome. The sun is behind me, but B plus. Okay, thank you, FBI. Okay, Biden is the worst. I see Autumn is saying that too. Autumn Beauty Rose. So you guys, and listen, if you're on the right side of the aisle, it's totally understandable that you would not like the Biden administration because his legislation, his policies, his vision for America is the opposite of yours. However, what about gas prices falling over the last 50 days or so? I understand you may blame Biden for the increase in gas prices, but what about the notion that he could potentially be turning things around? Do you give him any credit for that? By the way, folks, tap your screen, get your boy likes up. You know how I like to do it. 5,000 likes. Let's start right there. Democrats just raided Trump's house. Wait a minute. Did that happen? I'm assuming that's not true. Pop SQ, you said Democrats just raided Trump's house. I'm outside. I did catch World News at 5:30, 6:30 Eastern, but I don't. Wait a minute. Did that happen? Somebody let me know. True. You guys are saying that the FBI raided Trump's living quarters? Wow. Yeah, shit. I need to go home. I need to go home and turn the TV. Wow. Mar-a-Lago, huh? You guys have fucked up my whole walk. Let me get this walk in. See, this is why I like talking to you folks. Generally, I learn a lot from MAGA, but damn. Well, I guess you won't know what they were looking for. Turn your radio on, bro. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be probably sleeping with it on tonight. Wow. I don't even know how to continue this live after getting that news. Looking for documents he took. Well, it is pretty clear for those of you, and I don't know, I can't keep the sun out of out from my back, but for those of you who hold Trump accountable, or better yet, hold Hillary Clinton accountable for her emails, if you're being unbiased, you'd have to have the same sentiment towards Trump for those missing documents and his missing communications. I believe all his media devices during the time of the January 6th protests, we'll call it protest for now, during the time of that event, all of his communications were missing. When did the FBI raid this guy? Somebody let me know in the comments, how long ago did that news come in? Because I just watched the news less than an hour ago. When did that come in? And I see, who is that? Glenn Royce and Uncle Ruckus. Okay. I get that anytime we do these broadcasts, there's also always somebody who wants me to get on here and, Republicans are horrible, Democrats are good, all black people are awesome. Listen, if not doing that makes me an Uncle Ruckus, sign me up. Sign me up. Okay. All right. Let me see here. You live for Trump, don't you? He lost and you all still talk about him. Marky Mark, without the funky bunch. Well, there are plenty of people in here who are hardcore Trump supporters. I like to talk to them. The fact that I talk to them, does that make me some type of sellout? Okay, if so, fair enough. All right, let me get looking at the comments. Just another witch hunt. 6 years, this going on with nothing. Well, how long did it take to take down Al Capone of tax evasion? How long did it take to take down John Gotti? I'm not saying that they're going to get Trump. I'm just saying shit don't happen overnight. How long did it take to get Richard Nixon? It doesn't happen that fast. Just want to tell you that. Are you Eastern? No, I'm in Central Time. How long ago did that happen? How long ago was Trump's place raided? They already came out and said there was no missing communication on January 6th. Where have you been? That is not true. You're telling me that they've come out and said that they have, that the Trump administration are accountable for all of their communication during the time of January 6th? I don't believe that's true. I have not heard that. Let me go straight to the box. I'm bloviating too much because of that news surprised me. Ginger Beard, maybe you evening on the box. How long ago did this raid happen? Why don't I know that? An hour ago. Okay, that's why I didn't hear it. I was making a YouTube video and doing editing. Ginger Bearded Man, good evening.
Hey, Tim, how you doing, brother?
I'm shocked. I'm fucking shocked.
That was a complete surprise. I saw it. It's like, I don't know, 45 minutes ago it came out. It's like, wait, what?
Damn.
Yeah.
I wonder what was he there?
No, he's in New York City. But,
okay,
I mean, they didn't say what they're looking for. There's speculation.
They're not, and they're not going to. But yeah. the fact that they would perform a raid on the living quarters of a former president, would have you to believe that they certainly are after the man. I think at that point there shouldn't be any doubt whether Merrick Garland intends to go further with him.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say about that is, I mean, in all fairness, he's been gone after twice with 2 impeachments and obviously falsified documents. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the dossier, right?
Okay.
Where, he was supposedly getting hookers that were peeing on him and, this, that, and the other.
What do you think of the notion? Because I'm going to ask you this. Ryan Warner's in the comments suggesting that the FBI has been weaponized by the left. Do you believe that?
I think there's a possibility. I think we saw that with the Russian dossier and with the first impeachment, where there was clear bias toward, against President Trump, and showed up in text messages and things like that. And I don't think there was enough accountability for the persons who were investigating, because those investigators are supposed to be unbiased, right? Just like you and I, if we're going to get on here and we're going to talk. I mean, let's try to talk facts and try to be unbiased, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, but let me interrupt you and ask you this: why? Because Trump has been the one that's in control of the FBI up until now. Why do you believe his own FBI would come after him?
I think you still had so many that are on on the left side of the aisle. It's not like he went and did all of the hiring underneath him,
Okay.
right? He would
Okay.
bring his own
Very good.
director, but you replace all the leaders all at once because you would
Yeah, but
completely
that doesn't. I
destroy.
get your point. I get your point, but that didn't happen to Obama, Bush, Reagan, or nobody. Why is the man's own FBI? What would make them go after him in the first place? What is it about him that's different than everybody else that would even make his own FBI see him as a target?
You want to hear my conspiracy theory on
I
this?
certainly do, sir. I certainly do.
I don't trust the Clintons.
Oh shit. Well, Obama had a lot of problems with the Clintons too, and they didn't. The FBI didn't go after Obama. I mean, he wasn't friends with the Clintons.
No, but I don't trust the Clintons. I think there is so much dirt on the Clintons that's out there that nobody wants to. For some reason, I think the Clintons are. I'll make a joke about the Biden crime syndicate.
Okay.
In Ukraine or China, but I really think that the Clintons are the crime syndicate that we need to be worried about. No matter what side of the aisle that we're on, they're the ones we need to be scared of.
Okay, so you think that what's going on with him now may be Clinton based?
Um, with Trump.
Yeah.
No, I think I honestly do believe that there is some Democrat base to that. I mean, the fact that we're still going after a former president at this point, I think is a little silly, and they're still
So
wanting to do that.
here's what
You
I
know,
don't get. If
and
he if he wins again, here's what I don't get. If it no, he don't serve the complete term, 4 years already, and this is all still out there.
okay,
If he wins again in
yep.
2024, how could anybody expect him to get anything done if you're suggesting that all of these different branches our elite branches are after him? What good would he even be in 2024 as commander in chief at that point?
Well, I agree. I mean, the same thing of if he goes in and he does if he goes in for a second term, he can only serve 4 years. How much is he really going to be able to get done before whomever comes in next and undoes what he does? Right? I mean, four
Right,
years is not enough to really, you know, this is it's slow to turn a big ship, right?
right,
So
right.
to go back in, I don't know that he would be able to accomplish much of anything. You know, it would be like any other. It's almost like being a one-term president all over again.
So I have to ask you then, based on you kind of agreeing with what I'm saying, do you think he is the best choice for 2024? Should MAGA maybe pursue a different candidate that has
Well,
a
I
chance
mean,
to, that has a candidate that has a chance to be in there for 8 years?
okay, so you go back to MAGA, and I understand what you're talking about, but I heard you the other night, and you talked about how MAGA is for the black community, and he really resonated with me. So
So wait a minute,
where you're
say that
talking
again. I
about
didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. Say that again. MAGA's for what?
you talked about MAGA the other night, and how the black community views MAGA, and
Right,
when was America ever great for the black
right.
community, and that really resonated with me. Okay,
Okay.
so I want to move away from MAGA specifically, but
I think you just froze up.
ideal ticket would be to have a Trump. Yeah, sorry about that. My ideal ticket would be to have a Trump DeSantis ticket, and then DeSantis come in, behind Trump.
So you're saying put Trump at the top of the ticket and DeSantis as VP, and then hopefully DeSantis could follow him up for 8 years?
Yep.
Okay, that's not a bad idea if you can get the two men to agree. I mean, obviously with Trump at the top of the ticket, DeSantis isn't going to have much of an opinion at all. He's going to have to follow everything DeSantis says. But my issue is, I think the country would be more willing to entertain electing DeSantis than Trump to begin with.
And I think you're probably right. When you look at the Republican Party, I mean, let's take a step back. You talk about MAGA, right? So there's an arm
Hmm.
of the party that is MAGA, there's an arm of the party that is still Tea Party, right? And then you have another
Right.
arm of the party that is more moderate, and they're not really aligned with any of them, right? So there's a bit of a fracture
Yeah,
that is
but
there.
DeSantis could unite all of those arms of the party you're mentioning. Trump cannot.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and that's where the two of them on the ticket could also do the same thing. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think DeSantis being on the ticket, you know, I mean, I'm talking about my ideal dream team here. I mean, obviously, those are two Type A personalities that are not going to, they're not going to do this, right? They're going to go head to head against one another, and DeSantis is not going to, he's not going to be a VP.
I don't think it's in DeSantis' best interest to run with Trump. Why not just let Trump do what he's gonna do for 2024 and then he pop up in 2028? If Trump doesn't want to step out of the way for 2024, if I was DeSantis, I would not touch him with a 10-foot pole. Why tarnish your rep with this guy? I mean, he may go to rallies with you and say dumb shit and now it's attached to you. Just let him be. I would never advise somebody like DeSantis, who's right now considered in high regards, to ruin or risk ruining his relationship by getting. Look what happened to Pence. I mean, Mike Pence may have not been loved by the Democrats, but the Republicans didn't have an issue with him. Look at Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush was well liked by the Republican Party. Why would you intertwine with this guy, knowing that if something goes wrong, he's going to literally push you under the bus? That would be suicide for DeSantis.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree on that. I mean, I go back to, I don't like Trump's personality, but I like his policies.
Okay. And DeSantis
You
can
know,
give you that. DeSantis can give you that. But I got to move it on, man. You know what we do here.
yep, brother. Hey, good to talk to you always, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely a pleasure. Catch you on the next one. Okay. Looking at the, and somebody said I'm wrong about that. You think that I'm wrong in suggesting that DeSantis is a very respectable Republican in his own right? Why would he? And I'm not saying that a Trump DeSantis ticket wouldn't have a chance, but DeSantis is a very respected man, and Trump has a lot of baggage. Trump is well respected with MAGA, well respected with a lot of Republicans, but he's not going to win many independents at this point. That's all I'm saying. Well, FBI sure like Mar-a-Lago right now, says Chris. That shit has got me wanting to go home and turn on Fox. Well, Fox News may not even be talking about it. DeRuffa, D-U-H, duh, Ruffer. Let me doctor here. They went in Mar-a-Lago. Wow, that says a lot. The roofer, talk
Hey,
to me.
how's
Good
it
afternoon. Good
going?
evening.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I, am in awe. I hear Mar-a-Lago just got raided. I'm in awe.
Oh, I am in awe too. I don't understand anything that's going on anymore in the world. Everything is just upside down, crazy. It's stupid. People are going crazy. I don't understand why, but we got to understand that we need to slow down, step back, and just listen. Like listen to what's going
I
on
wish you
because
could have said that on J. I wish you could have said step back, slow down, and listen on around January 5th. We might not be having this trouble.
I know, but I live in Minneapolis, and I wish I could have said that on freaking January 20th of 2020 when everything just went to shit and we lost our whole city. And it's like, dude, where do we get groceries from now? We had to drive, 30, 40 miles.
What
To,
happened? What happened in January 20? What are you talking about?
no, 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 no. My dates are wrong. My dates are. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
apologize. I apologize. My dates are wrong. You said January 6th, and then I got all excited, and everything snapped back in my head. But the riots in Minneapolis, where I live,
yeah,
everything went to shit.
we've had that type of shit has happened in America well before Martin Luther King. That's something we've always had.
Exactly.
What happened on January 6th is not something we've always had. That's new.
But in January 6th, I mean, nothing got burnt or blown up, and
They were
nothing was
talking about
destroyed.
moving the vice president. What do you mean nothing got burned or blown? The vice president thought he was going to die.
Thought. There was a thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real thing. It was a
Well,
thought. It
okay,
wasn't
if it
like a
wasn't,
police station got burned. It wasn't
why do
like the
you?
Target
Okay,
got
why do you
burned. It
think
wasn't the
the?
Cub Foods got burned. It
You're
wasn't the whole city
comparing.
got
Wait a
burnt,
minute.
and you
You're
can't even go to the
comparing. You're
store.
comparing a Cubs food to the potential assassination of
Dude,
a vice president. You're comparing Cub food to
Vice
that?
President wasn't there. You're talking about we couldn't even go to the store because of the riot. We couldn't even after for like 9 months we couldn't go anywhere. You had to go 20, 30, 40 miles away depending on what store you wanted to go to. We couldn't go to a store. There was nothing.
Okay, but how does that?
Nothing.
Okay, but so how does that take away
The
from
police
January
station
6th?
was destroyed. The police station was set on fire and destroyed. What do you mean? How does it compare? There's no
Yeah.
comparison.
Okay, then
No
is it
comparison. It
possible?
was
Okay,
allowed to happen. It was
thank you.
allowed to happen. January 6th was fought and it was not allowed to happen and it was destroyed.
So,
The riots
so
in Minneapolis were destroying the whole city, and people that didn't have a choice had to deal with the consequences. The
So let
people
me
in,
let me ask you this: is it possible we could walk and chew bubble gum at the same time? And it's interesting I say that because I'm walking, but what I mean is when it comes to discussing what they did in regards to the Black Lives Matter riots, they don't necessarily have to bring up January 6th. And when it comes to discussing January 6th, we don't have to bring up Black Lives Matter. Can we address these incidents separately? You can't go to the
yes,
court. Okay, well
yes.
let's address the one that we're talking about right now with January
Okay,
6th. Do you
okay,
think that they're
January
ultimately?
6th.
Yeah. What
Let
do
me
you?
say
So
one
you
thing.
don't? Yeah. Do
One
you
thing.
think
Let me say
anything?
one thing.
Sure. Go ahead.
If it was Republicans that did it, would they not have all had guns?
You know, they didn't all have guns. I
They
believe,
didn't all, or how many did? Because everybody says Republicans all have guns. And how
well,
many guns were showing up?
that's an interesting question because I would
Yeah,
ask
tell me,
you,
tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me.
I wasn't there. I don't know. The Secret Service said there were guns in the crowd. They said they advised Trump that there were guns in the crowd. I mean, what else you want me to give you?
How many guns were showing up and how many guns were shown?
Well, with nobody being patted down or searched, how can you know the answer to that?
From all the videos that they said that they have,
Okay,
and they
you're
have proof from videos, not from me, not my videos or nothing, just
so
from
so let me
all
ask you.
those
So why would
statements
the
from.
why would the Secret Service say they advised the president that there were guns in the crowd if there were none? You're suggesting the Secret Service lied to him?
I'm saying that prior to that, the Secret Service was informed to shut it down, and they were not allowed to shut it down.
Okay, but I'm
The
answering
day
your question.
before, the
But I'm
President
answering your
Trump at
question
the
about
time.
guns. Wait, but I'm answering your question about guns. I'm saying that the Secret Service said that they advised the president there were guns in the crowd. Are you saying that they were not telling the truth to him?
I am saying if there were guns, then that would have been mass murder. There was no mass murder. There was no shooting the way they were explaining it. There was nothing that was crazy with guns going off, no shootings, no nothing like that. There was nothing crazy going off where you would
So,
actually think that it's a mass murder or a shooting or a riot or insurrection.
so your
The only
so
guns
your
that went
statement.
off were the police guns.
Okay, so your statement is that because there was no guns there, or at least in sight, it can't be a Republican event or something because there were no guns there?
No, no, no. Yeah, yes and no. My statement is that if it was a Republican insurrection, from what I'm learning lately, if what all my Democrat family is saying that Republicans all own guns, my personal self, I do not own any guns. I don't own any weapons other than a butter knife or a steak knife. That's what I own.
Well, I would believe.
You know,
I'm going to
I
tend to
mean,
believe that you don't believe Democrats all the time, do you?
I don't believe either party all the time. I don't believe people. I don't
All right.
believe what you say. I don't believe what Trump says. I don't believe what Biden says. I don't believe because I can't afford to live and then hear people say some stuff that this is what happens. And it's like, dude, I have to fucking pay my bills and I
Based
have to
on
deal
okay,
with
let me ask
this.
you this: based on what you've seen on January 6th, what do you think happened?
What I think would happen is that it was kind of a both party infiltration of each other. The Democrats and the Republicans infiltrated each other unbeknownst that they were going to do it, and they both did it at the same time. Because from what I hear, Republicans have all kinds of guns. Democrats don't own any guns, but Democrat
Who
Party,
do you hear that from? Who do you hear that Republicans have all kinds of guns?
CNN,
You just
NBC,
told me you don't, but you just
MSNBC.
told me you don't. You just told me you don't believe Democrats. So what you're
I
hearing,
don't.
according to
Yes,
you, yeah, but you don't believe that. So why keep reciting
yeah,
something that you admitted you don't believe?
I don't believe it. But you asked
Then
me
it, then
what I'm
it doesn't matter
hearing.
then.
You asked me
Okay,
what I'm hearing. You didn't ask what I believe. You asked me what I'm hearing. I told you what I'm
okay,
hearing. So that's a different question. I told you
okay.
what I'm
So
hearing.
right.
What I
So my,
believe is
what do
that
you
it was
believe happened
infiltrated.
on January 6th?
What I believe on January 6th was infiltrated by the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party infiltrated it and made it look like it was the Republicans that did it, because if it was the Republican Party, the Republican Party would have had a bunch of guns and would have fought for everything that they believed in. If the Republicans did it, then it would have happened way worse than what actually happened. If you went back into any kind of Democrat Party system, right, then the Democrats just destroy everything, blow up with everything, and they start fucking fires and kill people, and nobody even cares or looks into it. But when it's the
Okay.
Republicans,
Wow.
everybody thinks that it's the Republican Party that caused a bunch of insurrection and caused a riot. But when you look at things in reverse, then the Democrats are the ones who caused the most problems. So if you look at
Okay.
it in
Okay.
reverse,
Okay. All right. Here's the issue I have. When you start talking about if it was Republicans, they'd have a bunch of guns. I'm assuming you've seen what happened in Charlottesville in 2017, where they're marching down the street talking about they're not going to be replaced. That was a
yes,
Republican event, and they did not have a bunch of guns. They ran over and killed one person, but there was not a bunch of guns. And that was clearly Republicans speaking out and protesting. So they don't always show up with a bunch of guns.
you're right. You're completely right.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. All right. I got to move it
Yes,
on,
I
though, man.
agree.
All right. Fair enough. I'll catch you on the next one. Good talk. All right. Look at this. No, I mean, listen, Republicans are far more pro Second Amendment than Democrats are. I get that. But no, there's plenty of events they protest. I think in Michigan, when they got mad at Governor Whitmer for the mask mandate, they showed up with a bunch of guns. But there are plenty of protests that Republicans show up at in mass, and they're not all heavily armed like that. So I don't know where to go with that, but I just wanted to talk about that. Let me go back to the box real quick. Who is this? Papa Bear. What did I get wrong? I want to talk to Papa Bear because yeah, I don't. I mean, his take on January 6th was quite interesting, but like I said, I like to let the people speak. Okay, I may have a frozen screen here. You guys can see me or hear me, and for some reason that last one got frozen. Let's see, Papa Bear, can you hear me?
Oh yes, I can hear you, handsome. How you doing today?
Okay, I'm doing good. Did you hear my last caller?
Yeah, I had to go put my boots on because shit was getting deep. I mean, really. But listen, I
What
mean,
did you?
let's be
What did
fair.
you hear?
You know where I
Go ahead.
stand in political. You know I'm a liberal. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to. TikTok would ban me if I opened up my gun locker and showed you all the guns that Democrats got. Okay. Oh well.
Okay.
But just because a person has a gun, what the reference that he was making, then evidently that because everybody wasn't shooting everybody, and they wasn't Republicans. Oh, okay, then they get a gun and they don't got a brain to use it no more. Then, right? Is that what he was saying about Republicans? I think
I'll let the
people,
man.
I
Uh,
think people
I'll let
have
the man
brains,
speak. I
man. I'm
can't.
sorry.
I
I,
yeah.
you
I'll
know,
let the man speak. I can't. I can't verify what he was saying. I just like to. I let the man speak and get his
it was
point
kind
across,
of
but I
cute.
wasn't getting it.
It was kind of cute. Uh, but I mean, when you start looking at common sense and whatever the hell they make sense about. And I'm talking about the whole conspiracy theory type people. Yes,
Uh
I was
huh.
very surprised when I seen that the thing had happened today. with Trump. I've got to go and research the hell out of that. I never thought
Do
that
you?
that would happen.
I didn't either. Do you think they're going
I
to go
thought
after him
maybe New
criminally?
York would get him. You know,
You think
I
they're
thought New
you
York was
think they're
going to
going
get
to
him.
you think they're going to go after him criminally?
You know, my heart says when you go into my Capitol and they try to destroy my Congress, they should. But
Wow.
my logic says, why make a martyr out of it? You
He's
know?
already a martyr. He's been a
Yeah,
martyr since
well,
the first impeachment.
yeah, but guess what? This martyr, if they fix it where he never runs again, this martyr will die one day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean,
I
this
think
this this isn't the second coming of Christ. I don't care what they say in MAGA. Okay, maybe the Antichrist. A lot of people believe that. I don't. I think he just needs a really good wig and shut his damn mouth and listen to what he says sometimes. That's
I
his biggest
think
problem.
yeah, I think the end goal of all of this stuff is to simply stop the man from being able to run again. I don't think
That's
that, I can't
exactly what
imagine
I.
them trying to. Yeah, I can't imagine them trying to put him in jail. That I still argue that that's unsafe for the country.
Yeah, I don't want to see nothing happen to break up this country, but I damn sure would like to see other comments going on about what's going on. And how long you been around? I mean, this guy talking about one riot in one city. I was around in '69. I was living on 25th Street, West Chicago. I remember what happened during that damn year. Uh, and I was a kid, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm not going to defend the riot and looting of Black Lives Matter, but at the same time, when we're discussing the January 6th hearings, constantly throwing up that a CVS or a Cub Foods got set on fire is not a legitimate argument. It's just not. I mean, it's like you get in a speeding ticket and you're in court arguing about a guy that got away with speeding in Seattle. It just has nothing to do with the case.
Now, the deal was this is, I mean, and I've said it before. I seen this coming before he ever actually got elected. When they thought, oh, Trump's running, ha ha ha, right? I told my wife, and I said, hey, that guy is a danger to the Constitution. And they
Yeah.
said, oh wow. I said, yeah, he is. Just mark my words. She sat there and cried when she watched the January 6th. She cried. She said, I didn't believe it. I said, yeah, well, that's what you get for believing in one thing.
Did she vote for him?
Now I don't interfere in my wife's votes, and I don't tell her
I'm,
who I
I'm
vote
not
for.
asking
But
you.
I'm pretty
Yeah, I'm
sure
not asking
she's
if you
still living with
I'm
me.
not
I'm pretty
asking
sure
if
she
you
didn't vote
interfered with
for
it. I just asked you did. Yeah, I didn't
that.
ask if you interfered. I just asked you if she voted for him.
Nah, she didn't vote for him, but it's still she just didn't understand her America. Her dad and mom did. Okay, her
Okay.
dad her dad passed not too long ago, and I told her mom I wanted his MAGA cap. You know,
Yeah.
because he was really proud of that thing. But
Let me let
no,
me
I
let
really
me
feel
inter-
bad.
let me interrupt your response. Papa Doc in the comments says too many powerful monsters in the swamp that can't be drained out. I guess if that's the case, then why would you put in somebody who obviously is going to promise to drain them out and going to fail at doing it a second time? And I agree with you, by the way Washington is set up, any type of any type of mission like what Trump suggested, it would be very difficult to accomplish. Now, that's not to say that Trump truly tried to do it either, but even if he did, yeah, it's going to be very. I mean, you're talking about a system that's been in place for 250 years. One guy is not going to do that in 4 or 8 years.
Now, I just got one thing to say, and I'll finish up here.
Go
For
for it.
all you uh, hardcore Republican Trump footer, you do know that Trump was a Democrat and a friend of the Clintons for a long time. Somebody
They
pissed
know
him off
that.
and threw him under the bus.
Yeah,
So,
they know that.
he's not
They know
loyal
that.
to shit. And that's the way it works. But of the 60 years I've been following politics, and I have never seen one president that pleased everybody. I never have.
No, it's not
And he
possible.
never will.
It's not possible. All right,
Yeah.
well, I appreciate you coming through, Papa. I'll
I'll see
catch
you
you on
later,
the next
man.
go round. All right, absolutely. Catch you later. Hey, Lib says, what does that say? Stalking lion. Ooh, don't eat me. Looking at the comments real quick. Trump left the Democrats because of their scandals. Well, looks like he's left the Democrats because of their scandals, informed his own. JFK got wiped out for saying he would expose the swamp. Well, let's hope Trump doesn't get quote unquote wiped out. Let me look in the comments real quick before I go back to the box. I think that if Trump wins, he's going to be on a revenge mission. Maybe I'm wrong, but I definitely believe the Liz Cheney's and Adam Kinzinger's and Mitt Romney's and all of these folks would have to deal with him coming for revenge. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The midterms are only 3 months away. All right, going back to the box. We got Modest, Miss Goddess, rather. Miss Goddess. Let me make sure my device is actually doing this. For some reason, it did not take that. Let me try it again. Because I don't the elite are going to let the guy
Hey,
run. But I could be. Hey, good evening, Miss
long
Goddess.
time no see me be in the box.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure having you here again. What do you think? They just did a raid on the man's house, I'm hearing, in
They
Mar-a-Lago.
okay. They say they don't want to call it a raid; they want to call it a search, but same difference.
Yeah, no shit. It ain't like Breonna
It ain't
Taylor was there. I mean,
right, right,
right. They went unannounced.
uh,
They weren't invited.
right. It's not looking good. Every day is something. They were saying that he is not above the law. They were saying
Is there
that
video? Is there video footage? I haven't, because I'm
I
just hearing
seen it.
about it through here.
I
Is
saw
there
that
video
house.
footage?
Yeah, on I seen it on CNN. That
Okay.
house is
Is it a
humongous, huh?
was it a bunch of agents or a few?
They didn't show the agents.
Okay.
They
All
didn't show
right.
that part. They just showed like his house, that resort house. That thing is
Right.
humongous. And they
Right.
were saying that he flushed documents down the toilet. They were saying that he is not above the law. I think Trump is going to. I don't know.
So
It's
let
just.
me
It's
ask you
not.
this, Miss. Let me ask you this, Miss Goddess. Let's say
Mm,
you took over as commander in chief. We're gonna promote you all the way up to the top. Let's say we got
oh,
President Miss Goddess in there, and they
that.
came and advised you as a liberal president. They came and advised you. Listen, we have enough to basically bury the former commander in chief. However, some of the folks are suggesting that this might not be what's in the best interest of the country. But at the end of the day, you can give this guy a federal pardon if you think it's what's in the best interest of the country. Would you give that man a federal pardon if you thought it would, you know, calm things down a bit? Or would you make him pay for his crimes?
Well, I'm like this. The whole saying is, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. I mean, it's just okay. Like he have to be made of of a example
Yeah, I see all
because
the comments
this,
coming in. I don't see one
that's okay.
person. Everybody in the
That's
comments
okay.
is agreeing with you. Everybody in the comments is like,
Oh,
no pardon. Wow.
okay, good. I mean, because like I feel as though like he feel as though he can get away with anything. Just like when he said, I can get away with anything. I could go to New York and I could kill somebody and get away with it. And like, it's just he's still not no, not right now. I think right now he pooping his pants right now. Like his walls is starting to close in. But getting back,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The guy is almost like, what is he, 75, 76? I mean, even if they do have something on him, you really think they're gonna lock up a man that's that old?
that ain't that old. That ain't that old. Sit your behind down and do your time. It's people in jail probably older than that. They've been in there for hundreds of years.
Yeah, but
No,
they went in there.
seriously,
How often do you hear of a guy Trump's age going to prison?
Bill Cosby.
Okay, okay, all right, good comeback, good comeback. I can't argue with that. But Bill Cosby, yeah, I can't argue with that. I'll leave it at that. So you really think he may actually end up? Man, I
I
can't
think
see
so.
it. I can't
I
see
know. I
it.
do. I do. I like. I mean, it's like everybody is so fed up. It's not looking good during a committee. Nobody wants to go to jail for him, all but Bannon because he refused. Anyway, he should have stood in there because unfortunately, he Trump pardoned him and got him out. But it's just like honestly, I feel like a lot of the Republicans they so tired of him that they just like deep down they say lock him up. A lot
Yeah,
of them.
Well,
And
let me ask you this, because you got folks, particularly on the right, suggesting some really dark responses. Like, for instance, Civil War. Sonny Victor, what does that say? Sonny Victor official or something like that. He's even suggesting patriots are ready. So when folks say if Trump ends up being locked up, patriots are ready, what does that mean to you?
okay, well then, guess what? They can shoot the shot and threat all they want. National Guard, if they want to go, say, back to where they was at January 6th, it was at Congress, right? They go out
Okay, yeah.
there, they're going to plan and prepare. See, they already know that they're going to act a fool. They already going to expect for them to act a fool. So they're going to plan ahead because they know that the so-called patriots or the Trump supporters is going to probably be going. Look, they could go crazy all they want. It's just going to be body bags. You can't be in fear because of how somebody's going to react and don't do what's responsibly right for a criminal. No.
Well, but like for instance, Pop SQ is in the comments saying that means we will fight you Democrats on the street.
Well then,
Now, I
okay.
don't
Well
know.
then, come to the ghetto. Come to the hood. Come to the hood. Matter of fact, come to the ghetto. Come to every hood and ghetto in the city because they got exactly what y'all got. Tons of guns. Go to the ghettos. Go to the hoods.
Miss Goddess, I don't want to get to this
Seriously.
though.
No,
I don't want
seriously, because no, it's not fair for them to sit and they're gonna try to threaten Democrats. Okay, Democrats got guns and weapons too. That's not gonna happen like that. Before it even comes to that, as far as them saying that he's gonna do time in jail, it's gonna be plan and prepare. It's gonna be body bags. That's it. That's it.
to. Do we want
I
to? But
mean,
do we want to go through all that to lock up a 75-year-old man?
yup, do it. Do it. Do it. Because what he
We in
did was not
trouble.
right. No, please do it. I mean, he's done
President,
so
President
much.
Miss Goddess, President Miss Goddess, I'm urging you to rethink this, ma'am. Madam President, I'm urging you to rethink this decision. We all got kids. Madam President, are you sure this is the decision you want to make?
Based on Trump behaviors on January the 6th and his VP life was in danger. They was going after him. And not only that, but the other crimes and the fraud that he have committed, lock him up. Stamp
Damn.
seal.
All right, Miss Goddess, I got to move it on. You really got me feeling down. If this ends up happening, and I'm looking at the comments, people really agree with you. The ones who agree passionately. The ones who disagree are down for civil war. So
And those
my
agree
audience,
and not to cut you off, but they are all
go ahead, go ahead.
delusional. They're delusional, like that man coming in here. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not being smart, but y'all are just delusional. Wake up.
Well,
Because at the end of the day, Trump don't care
Deputy,
about them. Huh?
Brandy Deputy in the comments is saying that January 6th was a setup. Footage has been leaked. In other words, he's saying January 6th was Trump had nothing to do with that. It was a setup.
Yeah,
I get that all the time.
because they are delusional. They are delusional. They would die for Trump. Like,
Yeah.
y'all are delusional. Y'all is threatening people. And guess what? Like I said, come to the hoods. Go to Chicago. Go to Philadelphia. Go to to every hood with your weapons. Pow wow wow.
I gotta
Pow
go.
wow
I
wow.
gotta go.
Because
All
that's
right. You
not
stay
fair for
safe.
them to be saying a threat. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we gonna come after the Democrats. Okay, well then
Damn.
guess what? Y'all planned out January the 6th. Y'all got away with that. But I'll be darned if it happens again. You asked
You
me and
fuck around.
I gave you my best opinion.
All right. I appreciate you coming through. You know you're always welcome back. You have a good night.
You too, Mr. Hanson.
All right. All right. And she fuck around and have a motherfucker register as an independent. That's oh my god. But listen, I see in the audience. Um Her comments are very popular. She's not I mean, I see the lock 'em ups come in. I see folks that are suggesting that, yeah. But then again, I see the folks on the right, my MAGA audience is really passionate against it. Pop SQ said, I promise you, Republicans have more guns than Democrats. Doesn't matter how many you got. But at the end of the day, what happens is who gets shots on target first. You can have 100 guns and lose to a Saturday night special if the guy shoots you first. But you're probably right about the right has more weapons. I agree with that. Lyric 21. Obama needs to go to jail. Good luck with that. Trump had 4 years. If Obama or Clinton deserved to go to jail, that was up to Trump. He should have solved that. He didn't do anything, so you can't expect Hillary to get locked up under a Biden administration. That doesn't make sense, do it? Lock Joe and Hunter up. Hunter looks guilty as hell. I don't know what's going to happen with Hunter, but Hunter definitely does not look good. Ain't nobody scared of the Patriots. Wow. This shit is crazy, man. I'm looking at these comments. You're MAGA people. Yeah, William, I like to talk to MAGA. I mean, they're not holding no punches. They're not pulling no punches. I asked for folks to give me their honest opinion. That's what I'm getting. I can't hate on them for telling me how they feel. I'm trying to bring somebody else in the box, but for some reason, it's not letting me do it. So I guess I got to wait till this thing times out to bring in my next caller. At the end of the day, we will have the Democrat guns. Users 787. I don't quite understand what that means, and at the same time, I'm not even comfortable asking. Not even comfortable asking. We got this is a new caller there, Lion and the Truth, I think that says. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, buddy. How you doing?
Oh man, I don't know right now. Mar-a-Lago's been rated, and my audience is going haywire. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
There's a certain group, they don't want to watch the January 6th hearings. They're like a wall. They are stuck in their ways. And partially what I've been talking about, I do a podcast, so Line of the Truth is my podcast. Anyways, but it's
okay.
There's an identity crisis. People are having a problem to find out who they are. So they cling to groups, whatever the group might be that makes them feel good. It's an MMA group. It's a Trump group. Instead of even you and me, probably about the same. I'm 46. So back in the day, Steve Urkel, right? To be different, he had to be a different Steve Urkel. He couldn't be just Steve Urkel.
He had to come in as Stefan. I remember that.
Yeah, and then even like Superman, there was Clark Kent, but he had to be Superman. Nobody had there's always been an identity crisis. So now these people who have claimed their whole identity to this group of Trumpsters, and when they find out it's fake, where do they go from here? There's nowhere to go, and they can't lose. So they don't want to see any evidence.
Wait a minute. Let me respond to your suggestion or your statement that when they find out it's fake. If Trump goes to the grave continuing to tell him it's real, who other than President Trump, while Trump is still alive, could ever convince them that it's not valid?
Oh, it's the whole Jim Jones effect, right?
Well, maybe, but I'm just simply saying, you said when they realize it's fake, I don't think that'll ever happen.
No, they don't want to say, they don't even watch so me as a Democrat, I watch a lot of Fox News, and then I know everything about the company that owns them, and then I kind of research, I coach football, so you want to know what defense does, right?
Yeah,
but
good
they
point.
They don't want to know. So if you tell them stuff, they'll laugh. I'm shocked when people don't know that Trump stole $250 million from them, and it just came out, and they don't even know it. It shocks me when they don't even know it.
What are you talking about? You talking about the Stop the Steal money?
Yeah, the Stop the Steal money.
Well, they're not gonna believe it because they believe the Stop the Steal is real. And Pop SQ, no, I'll never ban you, sir. You're always welcome here. But they don't. Go ahead.
Or even like the Saudi prince. Trump has a strong tie to the Saudi prince. They bailed him out 2 times. They even tweeted about it. It's on. You can go tweet right now. Saudi prince, tweets to Trump. The first place he visits as president was Saudi Arabia, and then now he has Saudi Arabia use his golf course, for millions of dollars. And people are still blind. He's friends with the Saudis.
But what do you do when the liberals counter with Hunter Biden? That's a pretty easy one to throw back. I mean, Hunter Biden.
Hey, so as a just not even as a biased person, I say if someone broke the law, go ahead and get them. But what are your charges? And 2, Hunter Biden has never held office.
Okay,
so
fair point.
So what are they saying? They say laptop, Hunter Biden. Well, those are some feel-good words. They make them feel good,
Yeah.
But unless you got some legitimate stuff, we know you got to have some. You got a nice neighborhood there, my friend.
Hey, you know how it is, man. I gotta get away from some of these dangerous people that's on my that's on my broadcast. So I'm
No,
out in the middle of nowhere.
I read them. I'm pretty shocked sometimes, like even like the guns thing. I posted something about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a very common Democrat. Surprisingly, people don't understand. He's talked about it many times. He said that even he would never be Republican. He's far from being Republican. He never, if you check out my little TikTok, you'll see I put a video about it. But he's a gun owner. We're into comedy. We're into art. Just because we don't want to shoot Americans doesn't mean we're not pro guns. You know what I mean? We just want you to have a background check. And if you can't get it, I have a family member who didn't pass the background check here in California. And he said, well, shoot, I'm just going to go to Nevada and get one. And I'm like, well, that shows it doesn't work, bro. Like, they said you shouldn't have a gun, and
Wow.
he tried to be a cop and they turned him down to be a cop. It's like, well, there needs to be some kind of program or a system or a red flag these guys so we're all safe from these people, you
So,
know?
but I have to ask you the question. I talked to my last caller because you seem to lean more left and right. Do you think if they have the goods on Trump, they should actually arrest him and lock him up, or at
I
least
think
pursue
that
that?
it's not just Trump, though. It's a couple things going on. One, we want to make sure it never happens in the future, but Trump alone
Okay.
didn't do it. So everybody who's tied to him, the Bannons, the Stones, the Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump got dozens of patents from China. Um, Jared Kushner had a deal go through with the
Well, let
Saudis.
me let me stop you. Let me stop you and ask
Yeah,
you this though. We're talking
go ahead.
about President Trump. If they could get Trump, alone and let him know they had the goods on him, but they would be happy with taking down the likes of Sidney Powell and Rudolph Giuliani and things like that. To save his own skin, do you think Trump would be willing to testify against his own brethren, the ones that were under him? Do you think he would be willing to, to put the blame on them? It,
Well, the Epstein thing, do you know that?
yeah.
Trump and Epstein were best friends for 15 years, and then they had a sour deal about the Mar-a-Lago property, so they kind of like split ways a little bit. But also in 2007, I guess Epstein hit on one of Trump's girls, so they even had a bigger split. And then he went to prison and he died.
Wow.
So there's a tie, and he shows, hey man, I'll turn on anybody. Like Mike Pence. Mike Pence used to be the guy, and then he turned his back on him. So there's a kiss a ring mentality.
Why do you think Mike Pence, and he certainly did turn on Mike Pence, but why do you think Mike Pence has not said much about Trump publicly, considering how bad he did Pence?
I think Mike Pence is. I'm not a fan of Pence, but I think he's a very honorable guy. He won't talk smack about anybody. He won't get in a
Yeah,
room
but
with a woman unless
so
his
this
wife is
is
there.
yeah, but this ain't talking smack. This is a man who literally, so according to the January 6th hearings, was okay with you losing your life. According to them, they said that Trump said maybe he deserves it. I mean, you're talking about
Yeah,
somebody who left you out to die. This isn't
yeah.
name calling.
They're still
So
loyalists, though. And there has to be like these people are talking about generational wealth. These people don't only have generational wealth, but they have generational control. The McCain family, the Trump family, the Bush family. So you want to be part of that little clique there. The Cheney family. These people are there. The Kennedy
But
family.
what? Okay, so let me ask you this in regards. Okay, so I like to read the comments. Who Sean Tomlinson said, in regards to Trump potentially saying that Mike Pence deserved what was going on with him. He's saying that's all BS. That Trump would have never said that. Do you think there's any chance that Trump realistically suggested that whatever Mike Pence is facing out there with that gallows, maybe he deserves it? Do you think Trump would have even said something like that?
Well, we've heard all the comments he has made, like Joe Maxwell, wished her well. Even like when they had the tiki torches, there's good people on both sides. Like just a common person would just be like, those are bad people. But he
Yeah.
doesn't do that. He does very good about being political, playing both sides a little bit, but then saying just real sharp stuff to make people care. I like the Hillary Clinton comments. Like when people keep bringing up Hillary Clinton investigating, that Hillary Clinton was investigated 7 times by the Republicans, costing over $11 million. So they've done investigations. A lot of times the problem is also is these people are new to politics, my friend. I've been in my name's Reuben. I'm named after Reuben Hurricane Carter. I was born
Damn.
straight out of the womb talking. My dad was my parents went to Richmond High. They went to high school with Huey Newton. So like from day one, my parents have always talked about this stuff. So like
Okay.
a lot of people are new to this. I hear people say Ronald Reagan was the best president, I'm like, you don't know about the Iran-Contra scandal or the crack cocaine epidemic or the highest tax prices or advertising drugs on TV or getting rid of mental health across Medicare and Medicaid. Like people just don't know anything. That's the problem.
I
Or
agree with
Obama.
that. I agree that we tend to hear what we want to hear and ignore what we don't want to hear. But listen, I got to move it on, man.
No problem, my
Hey,
friend. Thank you. I appreciate it.
absolutely. Let us talk to you some more. I think is this our first? We talked before once, or have we not?
Not yet. I'm just got 1,000 about a week ago. I'm super excited.
Okay, great to have you here. All right, catch you later, man.
Have a great day.
All right. Now, real quick. Orange Contra. What did that say? Reagan was a traitor to the Second Amendment. Really? Was he? Okay, I'm looking. What happened to that congressman who was deeply to get Hillary on? I don't get your comment there, defend. And not once did they have anything. I'm just looking at the comments real quick before I go back to the box. Let me not waste too much time talking. You guys want to hear what's coming in the comments, so that's where we're gonna go. Who is this? Fast Pass? Civil War.
Hey man,
Is our country headed to civil war? Fast Pass.
somebody
Are
skipped.
we potentially headed?
Somebody split.
If Trump gets incarcerated, or arrested, do you think that could spark a civil war in this country?
I don't know. That last lady up there was seeming to think that people were thinking that and talking about it, but people talk a big game like that, but when it comes down to actually, going out and hitting the streets, and I mean that January 6th might be the closest that came, but I don't think so. I don't think there's enough. They talk a big game. A lot of people do.
Well, let me say this, and I do agree that there are plenty of people who talk a big game, but you don't need but a few people to go mass casualty event to cause a lot of damage. You don't need a whole lot of people because even though you and I believe that a lot of people talk a big game, even if 10% of them carry out the way they feel, grab an
Like an
AR and shoot.
assassination or something, like somebody
No, I
actually
mean,
got,
no, I mean
like
like
somebody
say for
actually
instance.
got
No, I mean like
unalived.
what happened in New Mexico over the last month or so, where they're saying a bunch of Muslim guys have gotten killed. You know where that's probably coming from. You know that's not an Asian roaming around New Mexico killing Muslims. You know where that shit's coming from. So I'm talking about stuff like that. You don't need a whole lot of people to do a lot of damage.
True, but people so knee jerk right now, and in the same regard that they knee jerk, they also hit the news cycle. So the next thing, now this is big, but we don't know how big it is. Did he just happen to take some records that were supposed to be not been taken? I think that, and you know how I feel about, I'm conservative, but I'm not a huge Trump fan. I just don't. I don't think
Shit,
he should be
Don.
nominated.
Well,
Republican Party, he's hurting the Republican Party. I think he is, but I'm
100%.
conservative.
100%. One of my certainly a fan of the program, a friend of the program, Don 64 is saying they even broke into Trump's safe. They even
Right.
broke it in his safe.
Right. So they can. People think that they can't use if something they find that's not under the investigation. They damn sure can. They can, whatever they find in there, they can open another investigation based on something else. So, is it a fishing expedition? Is it that he was about to announce?
Wait a
Because he
minute.
was
You
about
don't.
to.
You
He was
don't.
about to. I'm asking a question. I'm not making a statement.
Okay.
Yeah, but were they about to announce? He was about to announce. Did that cause it?
You know, I honestly don't know, but when you said a fishing expedition, you don't break into or perform a warrant on a former president's house as a fishing expedition. You don't do that unless you know you got some I's to dot and some T's to cross. That's
Well, there's
last
something. He's
stage.
got something in writing. They've got something in writing, and
Yeah.
they're gonna have to come out and tell what it is. I mean,
Yeah, that's some.
they're going to have to tell the American people this is not the depth of the investigation, but basically what it was that they went looking for or what he did, or they're going to have to charge him. And that's the question: do they want the optic of seeing him in handcuffs? That image right there
It's
would be
dangerous.
enough. Would that is that the optic that they're looking for? So but not both sides. I think there is political hypocrisy going on a lot of times on both sides. I mean, listen, they're in
What is?
power, and
Let me
this
ask
guy
you
was
this. Let me ask
yeah.
you
Go
this.
ahead.
What is your take of him in regards to January 6th and how that turned out? Do you think
Right.
President Trump is culpable for any of that? You think any of that is his fault?
Um, I think, yeah, the narcissism of seeing hundreds of thousands of people coming up and like, hey, he must have had some God complex going on there. When you've got that many people that gathered wanting you to stay in office, hell, I mean, that's God. I mean, he's got to have and there's no question the man's a narcissist, big
But do
time.
you think he is? Do you think what happened on January 6th? Do you think that was an attempted coup at the behest of the president? Do you blame him for something
Mm,
like that?
I, oh, wow, good question. Because was it a coup or was it illegal? Was it illegal what he did? These people had been talking about doing this, and I mean, the chatter. I saw it. I saw the chatter. This was more of a grassroots thing, I think, than something that Trump led. I don't think Trump led these people to come up there. I'm talking about once they were there, it was done. But I'm talking about, did he organize it? Did he and ask these people to all come on January the 6th? And no, I don't think that organizational mindset was there. But once it happened, I think he could have done a hell of a lot more to stop it. And if he had
Okay,
any foresight whatsoever, he would have stopped it at the beginning. But the man did not. He brags about his intelligence. Well, that was the stupidest thing in the world, is
What
not
about the
stopping
what
that
about the
immediately.
okay, what about the notion that they came there believing the election was stolen, and as of right now, nearly 2 years later, they don't have definitive proof that the election was stolen?
Well, the key word's definitive, and I don't think it was stolen either. It was, but it caused a lot of people to question the way it went down. More laws were changed during this election than ever before. So were they, and who benefited from the changes? I don't know. It's hard to say, but what these people are. This guy earlier talked about this generational thing. It's true. It's they got they got generational protection. Um, I think that a lot of them are better at getting away with what they do than are innocent. Because a lot of people I think are guilty, but some are absolutely better at 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 getting away with it.
What
I
okay,
mean, they're
so
just
what
politically
about okay, let me ask you this in regards to
sure.
on election night, Trump said that he won by a landslide.
You
Do
asked me
you
this
hold him?
question. Yeah, you asked
Yeah.
me this question before, and I said no. I don't think he won by a landslide. Absolutely, but he didn't need to win by. He didn't need to lose by a landslide or win by a landslide. All he needed to do was lose. So it didn't take a lot to turn it. Now, did it happen? I don't know that we'll ever know. I don't know that now there's people that are being also charged for tampering with those machines. You heard about that? The Republicans are being charged with tampering. They did something. They got the machines and they tried to make them um, spit out wrong results. But I don't know.
Wow.
The man is absolutely not healthy for the country, and he's not healthy for the conservative party. And the conservative party, the Republicans, don't see it. I
No,
just don't
no, they
think they
don't.
see it. He's
I
a
don't think so either. I think that Trump is by far their most desired candidate for 2024. But look, I gotta move it on fast,
okay.
fast.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
You know.
All right, you
All
have a
right.
good night, man. Always a
Bye.
pleasure. Okay, looking in the comments, what is it? 81 million. 81 million Biden. Damn, where did that comment go? Shit. Sorry about that. TikTok scrolled your damn comment up. I wanted to see what you were saying now. Wow, where have you been for 6 years? In regards to what, Edge 25? What do you mean where you been for 6 years? Smart guess. I liked him. I always like talking to Fast Pass. Um, and Biden is better, right? Becky Bowen, when you say, if you're being sarcastic, obviously, and pointing out that you think Trump is a better president than Biden, that's fine. Economically, it appears to be so. However, do you ignore the amount of division that he was deliberately causing? Now, I'm not going to say that Biden is not causing division also. However, Biden's division is generally based on the fact that he's passing legislation and doing things that the American people may or may not want, such as closing the pipeline and things like that. Trump's division is based upon rhetoric, just saying things that are deliberately designed to piss people off that's unnecessary. So it's a little bit different there. But let me go back into the box real quick here. And who did I have in here? I think it was Fax. I think that was who. My box is acting funny here. He was just trying to get rid of the swamp. That ain't the way to do it, Becky. That is not. Pocahontas is not the way to get rid of the swamp. It's, showing pictures of Ted Cruz's wife next to Melania Trump and saying, who would you choose? That's not the way to get rid of the swamp. That's the way to piss people off. Facts matter. Talk to me.
Hey there. So, went to the store, got me a big old bag of popcorn and a pound of butter. I'm here for it.
What do you think we're dealing with here?
The walls are closing in. Merrick Garland is not a man of drama. He's not.
Damn.
He signed off on this. He didn't do this.
Isn't Merrick Garland the one that Obama was trying to appoint before he left?
Oh, definitely, yes.
So they're gonna certainly say he has a political. They're gonna certainly say he's biased in, right? Because the Republicans didn't allow him to become a Supreme Court justice. You're gonna hear all kinds of conspiracies about Merrick Garland. They're gonna wish they had appointed him to the Supreme Court by the time he done.
And they would have been a great Supreme Court justice. And they can say what they want to say, but believe what they do, not what they say, right? And he has a long record of what he does. Matter of fact, he was the prosecutor that put away Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma bomber.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to put away. It's a lot easier to put away McVeigh than Trump. There was no huge amount of sympathy for McVeigh. Trump is going to be different.
Well, not long ago, a few weeks ago, Merrick said, "We've got to get this right. This is not a man that's going to go out there on a lark. Period."
Right.
He's not. He's not a showman. He's by the numbers.
Right.
And by the way, Trump economically was better. All right, you go ahead. Continue. I'll do that as my closing.
Certainly right now, 2 years into the Biden administration, I'm going to say the economics under Trump were better. Yeah, I still think that. But you didn't get all the division and all of the name calling. You disagree?
Yeah, but as you say that, of course I do. As you say that, Biden just reduced the last deficit by $365 billion. We're on target to, wait. We're on target to reduce next year by $1.3 trillion.
Okay.
Each year Trump was in office, he raised the deficit, gave the 1% a permanent tax cut, made the one for middle America temporary, which expires this year. That's not good.
Okay.
He levied many tariffs that caused many problems, such as lumber.
Okay.
That was
I will say this at this point. In my opinion, it does not even matter what Trump did beneficial to the country as president, because of all of this satellite shit that's orbiting around him has probably made his journey in 2024 virtually impossible. I just can't see it. Remember, the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of law and order. So
yeah,
I just can't see it.
Made.
I mean, it doesn't even matter about the economy and stuff now.
No, you're right. And the point is, Merrick, this is what a real prosecutor does before he drops the charges.
Wow.
That's what
Well,
history says.
Well, certainly if they're doing warrants on the home of an ex-president, you'd have to assume that shit's getting real. I
Right.
definitely would. Yeah, it's getting
Exactly.
real. That's about as close as you can get to grabbing the man
Yeah.
himself. You in his crib, breaking into his safe while he's not
Right.
home, and then announcing
Right.
that shit on CNN and Fox. That's pretty wild.
And they had to present the evidence to a judge that there was a crime committed and that there's probable evidence to be discovered.
Yeah.
And imagine the weight of that decision on, I don't know who the judge is offhand right now, but imagine
They
the
said
weight
Merrick
on that man's
Garland.
shoulders.
They're saying the warrant came from Merrick Garland to some degree. Didn't somebody say that? I haven't seen it. I was
Well,
out
I
here
believe
when
it.
it came in.
Yeah, but still a judge has to sign off on the search warrant,
Okay.
not
All
Merrick
right.
Garland.
Right. Okay. To me, it's almost like if you ever seen the old movie A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Demi Moore. I don't know if you're old enough to have seen that movie,
Yeah, I
but
am,
when
but I'm
they,
trying to remember
yeah,
which one that was.
okay. Well, it's when they went after Demi Moore and Tom Cruise went after Jack Nicholson because he was a Marine colonel that ordered a code red on the guy
Oh,
who
right,
died.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
It reminds me of when Tom Cruise in court was going to go after him. Demi Moore let him know, if you do this, if you go after somebody that high, you better be damn sure, or it could cost you your career. And
Exactly.
so that's probably very similar to here, where these
Very
folks going
much.
after Trump, because if he gets reelected, you're gonna see some heads rolling.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
well, we as we fall into fascism, but no, but just plain and simple. They can quack and chirp and everything they want to. Merrick Garland isn't that guy. He's not fucking around. He's not Mr. Flashy. He's a by the book dude. He would not make this move without cause. Period.
Okay, but what do you think about the notion that they're claiming both impeachments are the witch hunt? They're saying, so you would assume they would have had the same mindset on the impeachments, where you don't make a move unless you're certain.
Oh well, that wasn't Merrick Garland though.
No, but I'm saying it should have been under the same notion, because you're trying to
Well,
disqualify the guy potentially as president.
true. And there's too much detail from the first one to even get into, and especially not with a discussion with most MAGAs I've spoken with. Now the second one, it's pretty cut and dry. Read the transcript. I mean, put Trump in the place of a schoolyard bully talking to somebody else that he's got his pre-approved school lunch, but but the Trump bully's gonna not let him have it unless he does something for him. Same scenario.
Right. Okay.
I mean, the funds that Trump was trying to deny were pre-approved funds by Congress, who holds the fucking purse strings.
So I gotta ask you the same question I asked Miss Goddess a couple calls ago. If you were
Yeah.
commander in chief,
And by the way, you're
you
lying. That lion guy that was on here, well spoken.
okay, and he said he run a podcast, so hopefully we get him back. But if you were commander in chief and you were advised that going after Trump lock, stock, and barrel could actually tear the country apart, but they do say they came to you as commander in chief and told you, we have enough to get this guy, we have the goods on him, but it could be detrimental to the country, and it's your call. Do you want to get this guy apart, or do you want us to continue pursuing it? How would you, as commander in chief, would you continue going after him, or would you take the advice of maybe this isn't the best interest for the country?
No, I'm of a mind that no one's above the law. I believe it was a mistake not to have followed through with Nixon. And if we had followed through with Nixon, we might not be in this position. Now, if we do not follow through with this and we decide that the president, he can't be impeached, he can't be held accountable in criminal court, then he is above the law. No, I will not stand for that.
Wow. So what, you think there's a possibility, some of my viewers are suggesting a civil war. Do you think that, well, you said no. Okay. I don't know, man. I hate to even have to have this as a damn topic. It's so bad. I mean, it's horrible. But
Yeah,
listen, in fact, I got to move it on, man.
Well, just one thought on that.
Sure.
It's one thing to be a keyboard warrior. It's another thing to hit the street. It really
Okay.
is. Now,
Well,
no,
you know, a
and
lot of our. Go
we
ahead.
could have incidents. There could be incidents, but hey, one of their little incidents just got 7 years the other day. So go for what the fuck boy.
All right. All right, man. You have a good night. Appreciate you
You
coming
too.
through.
See
All
ya.
right. Wow. All right. Catch you later. The difference between an actual culprit and a keyboard warrior, but I will say that a lot of our mass shooters started out as keyboard warriors. Looking in the box or looking in the comments real quick, there are going to be a few isolated incidents. Yeah, but shit, what is an isolated incident? Is it like Las Vegas or Pulse nightclub where you got 40, 50 people? Two, in this case, you may have people responding to it. You go into a neighborhood and kill 40, 50 people. Some of them people may take it upon themselves to go into another neighborhood and respond to it. It could get messy. Don't just rule it out. Greenland, talk to me. Good evening.
How do you do?
Man, our president apparently has had a federal search warrant performed on his home. Have you gotten the news about this over there?
Oh, I on TikTok I found out, so I went to YouTube to take a look. It's kind of exciting stuff from here.
That shit ain't exciting. That's frightening, man. I see somebody in the comments said, "Y'all, President George Sherry." No, I don't know if it's exciting, man, because it could
Oh yeah,
affect. It could have ripple effects around the world.
yeah. Feel like it could be one step closer to safer America, but it will have some dangerous part of it. Some people will do something if they caught them on something.
I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of even having to discuss the potential. Somebody walking across the basketball court. I'm not even a fan of having to potentially discuss locking up a former president, and certainly not one with this much of a following. If we locked up Hillary Clinton, I was a Clinton fan. I voted for her. But I will say, if we locked up Hillary Clinton, I don't think the outrage would be anywhere near as strong as locking up Trump, because the love or the loyalty to Hillary Clinton in the Democratic Party was nothing compared to what Trump had from the Republican Party.
Yeah, Trump has a fanatical following. That's they believe everything he said and do not believe in the truth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, now I got somebody in the comments like Miles is saying, "Stop being scared." Am I going too far being this concerned about it? I mean, is it something I should just rest assured if the guy gets locked up? Hey, he did the crime, he does the time, and we'll move on. Is that how folks viewing this think that if they do ultimately get the goods on Trump and lock him up, nothing more will come out of it but few isolated incidents here or there? How you doing?
That's what I believe. That's what I believe. It will be very few incidents, and everybody will follow up and get set it up in a safer world.
Wow, I cannot imagine the amount of protests, because there's going to be a lot of Democrats celebrating. I'm assuming Kool and the Gang's song "Celebration" will be played a lot that night, and probably Prince 1999. But also on the other side, I don't know what the hell. What is the song? "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." Some shit. I don't know. This is not the night I'm thinking of in America. It just doesn't sound good to me. Abroad, when you guys looked at Trump over there, and I know Trump obviously was making news over there, did you see him as potentially being this corrupt that he could actually be a criminal?
Yeah, we thought him always as a criminal before he was a president.
Wow. I don't even know what to say, man. I don't, like I said, it's depressing. That's all, that's all I can say. But I got to get home and watch it on the news. So I'm going to make this one kind of short with you, Greenland. Certainly want to talk to
Yeah.
you again in the future, man. But yeah, I don't know where to even go with this. And I appreciate you holding. I saw you in there.
All right, thank you.
All right, catch you next time. Give you a little bit more time next time, but I don't know what to do. Like, just looking at the comments real quick. Yes, he has always been a criminal. He is a criminal and was one back in New York City days. Becky says thoughts in U.S. is wait a minute. Thought and us are considered two different things. I don't get that. Everyone in New York City knew he was a con man before he got in office. Then why the hell did you let him in office? The president or former president, Congress and the Supreme Court has more power than the president. Yeah, it could ultimately fall down that way. Let's go with I can't even pronounce the name.
Hello.
Dios.
Hello. This is
What are we dealing with here?
very entertainment. Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Okay,
But okay,
are you aware? Are you aware of what happened?
yeah, and yes, I'm worried too. No, because Trump supporters will be go broom cities. I don't believe this is the kind of the modus operandi for any of these people.
Yeah. So you do
But I
think that this?
believe
Go ahead.
I am scared for communism, and I see the same thing happen for leaders with opposed to the Communist Party. So we had this moment at Democrat radicals right now in power. There's not the same Democrat,
Where are
the
you?
30
Okay,
years ago.
I have to. Okay, I have to ask. Where are you at? What country are you in right now?
I am from Colombia.
Colombia. Okay, Colombia. All
Yeah.
right, fair enough. Go ahead.
And we had the same problems in the 80s. We had the same thing. We had the very radicals in the power. And everybody who no agree with them or the opposite, they kill it. They kill in my country all the time. They use it. And they do the same thing. Go in the house, take everything for you. They need prosecute you in one way or the other. Change the constitution. The great thing to be America is more difficult to be change the constitution here. But we know it's the agenda. It's something that happened since 1999. And we see this very radical Democratic Party to want the power the one way or the other. Of course, Mr. Trump is the big problem for them. It's a big problem with
Okay.
everything he says.
So, okay, in regards to Trump, now, how do you guys view him down there in Colombia?
The news for about Trump
No,
in
no, no. I mean,
Colombia,
no, no. I mean, like when Trump was president. What did you guys think of him in
everybody,
Colombia? Yeah.
the only news we have for Trump in Colombia is the bad news about that he's bad, he's racist, this is terrible, that he will start a tree war, everything. The people in Colombia, they learn for the news that Donald Trump was the terrible president. It's only we know. But when you live here, live in America, when you see the reality, it's not that happening in the news. The news brought, Brown made the people crazy about. And when you
Okay.
compare the news with the reality, what is exactly happening, and what is all the fake news, and it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible, terrible. But the
So
problem here,
so you believe that Trump was actually not as bad as the news portrayed him, and the news
of
actually made him look worse.
course, no, the way they presenting, like when each time I go to my country and speak, people, oh my God, they be deporting. But come on, I am an American citizen since 2007. How they be deporting me? How they be kicking me out for this country if I love this country and I do nothing wrong? It's kind of this. Oh my
Right.
God, there's big things about Trump, about how bad is this guy or how terrible. And they're working so hard days and nights about destroy this person,
So,
destroy this human.
if you've been a citizen since 2007, who do you favor more as the president over here, Trump or President Biden?
Oh, Trump, totally,
Okay.
totally.
Okay. What did you think? Well, if you've been around since 2007, you also were here under President Obama. What did you
Oh,
think of him?
terrible, terrible. My two
Okay.
language,
All
I
right.
speak English and Spanish, and I listen when Obama went, going in his campaign. And I was like, can't believe it. He speaks the same way the all corrupted people in South America talking. All the breed, like this division that we talk about, the strong make the division. No, the division started in America for Obama. Barack Hussein Obama bring all the stuff, bring all the black people is, black people and versus white people, white promises and all the stuff. There's Mr. Obama who bring all this division more. And the thing is, they're not prepared to Mr. Trump win the election, and they need to destroy him. They impeached twice. Now, the only thing that happened, I really believe they want to kill Trump. I think this is the only thing they need to do to take this guy off for the agenda. And the agenda is clear, and the agenda is started in 1999. This is not new.
Okay.
This
All
happened
right.
in
I
Colombia,
didn't, you know
Venezuela,
something?
Nicaragua.
Yeah, we often hear, and certainly being an African American myself, we often hear how there are plenty of Hispanics for Trump. And you clearly are one. So, I mean, so they do exist. And I'll tell my audience, here's an Hispanic from Colombia that clearly is a Trump fan. In fact, like you said, Obama was terrible when you're not a fan of Biden as well. So, yeah. Do you think he has a chance? Now, you're not, are you allowed to vote in our elections? You're a citizen,
Of
so
course,
you can
yes.
vote, right?
I American citizen. I come into this country legal with my documents, with my work visa in 1996. And I wait to 2007 to receive my citizen. So yes, I allowed to vote. I prefer, for me, if I had Mr. Trump next to me, I say, no wrong, sir, no wrong. Go take your money, enjoy your wife, enjoy your life, go away. For me, if I had this chance to tell Trump no wrong, because I
Okay, so
believe,
you're saying, okay, I get what you're saying. So you would say no, you would suggest that Trump not run for
no,
2024 and
no
just
wrong,
enjoy his life.
no, yes, totally.
Why
I
is that?
prefer, because they will kill him. They will kill, he will be lost again. There will be again frog. And the people say, oh, no, believe frog. It's frog happening. I live in Georgia and I see the frog. I see the frog. People coming to me because I'm Latina and ask me money to bring false balloons to the postal office. The people had the face to ask me only because I'm Latina to offer me $250. I take these people, I call the police when they say, oh, you need to do this. You need help us to have this ballot, this ballot and pretending somebody else. This do
Wow.
it for me. Do it. So I
Okay,
know how
I
it.
got to based on your statements. I always respond to folks in the comments when I think they say something crazy. But I got to ask you this, and I normally wouldn't. Blackjack 21 asked, "Do you like black people?" I don't know where to go with that, but
My
Blackjack.
best friend, my best friend is black.
Okay, all right.
It's the
I just
great
asked you
man
because
in the world.
yeah, that's not a comment I normally would ask you, but I seen it in the comments,
I working with
so I,
black people in my job. We are party. We are the best body. So it's not about color. And it's another thing that's been to this country. Color. Who
okay,
cares
all
about
right.
color? No, who cares about if you brown or you green or you what? Who cares? I never feeling that nobody like me for my color, and I'm brown on my accent. And I see sometimes I told you something. The more liberal people is the one to attack me because I know acting like they're supposed to do acting. And I will tell you one example that happened for me in Phoenix, Arizona, when I had my kid to the school. I walk into the
Okay.
school and the lady called immediately somebody to translate for me. And I told her why. Why you need somebody to translate? I don't need other person to know about my son education. I can understand English. If you don't understand my accent, it's your problem. But you don't need bring somebody. It's like no. My older son is suffer. My son is autistic, and it's like I need request help. I can work in and help my son and have good insurance for my son. And I told you something. With Obamacare
All right.
coming, when Obamacare coming, I lost so many good therapies for my son because
Well,
many of the clinics they are closed for the Obamacare, and it's a
all right.
sad, but because
Okay.
public health is not good for nobody. I know
All right.
this.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
All right. Well, fair enough. Listen, I got to move the program on, but I do appreciate you coming through. You always welcome back, ma'am.
Okie dokie.
All right. You have a
Thank
good
you.
night. Okay. Look. Here. That means your doctor was a criminal. Oh my God. She doesn't remember Trump saying Colombia is sending their worst people. I know he said that about Mexico. Did he say that about Colombia? I have plenty of people daily who attack me daily for speaking English. I don't get that one. People need to stop being mean. Shit. I mean, that's what we like, right? Isn't it? Isn't that what we get from the fuck your feelings crowd? Too. Joby.
I
Joby,
have
good
a
evening to you.
I have a black friend now. Where have I heard that before?
I'm not, and speaking of black, and the sun is starting to set on me. I'm looking black as hell. But, um, yeah, I've heard that statement before plenty of times, and
We
I
all
get
have,
where you're
man.
going with that. I get it. I get it. But
And
she's Colombian. She's a minority herself.
everybody needs to relax. This is not a raid. This is a peaceful tour of Mar-a-Lago. Everybody chill.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
Everybody relax.
It's a love fest, huh?
It's a love fest. They're staying in the ropes, everything's fine.
Well, you know what you could say? The servants, they didn't break in, the servants let them in. There's video footage of them being let in.
Yes. He got nothing to worry about. I'm sure Kim Kardashian will get his ass out of jail. No worries.
Oh my God. I can see when I get on Facebook or social media, there's gonna be a million memes on this shit. I can see that now. You just came up with 3 or 4 of them right there.
You know
So
what,
are they
man?
gonna really try to prosecute the former president though, man?
But that's what I'm saying. If the FBI raid the ex-president's house, there's something going on here. That you don't do that light-handedly.
I agree. I cannot
And
agree with you more.
and the fact if he as a civilian now, which he is, if he had private documents in his house, he's in trouble.
Yeah, because he was supposed to leave a lot of that shit behind, but is it possible that he just made a mistake? I mean, do you give a
No,
former president
come
the
on.
benefit of the doubt?
Yo, man, when you leave a hotel, you take some towels and some pens. You don't take some,
Yeah, you don't take the phone in the microwave. I get it. Well, man,
he took classified documents to his private residence. That's a no-no.
you know something. I kind of wonder. You seen what happened in the January 6th hearings? How many people in his inner circle testified against him? I wonder if they get him, how many more people that he works with personally or even appointed to their positions may step forward and continue testifying against him. I mean, there are a lot of dominoes falling all around him.
Yes. I think, that his arrogance got the best of him. For a moment
Yeah,
there, he was thinking he was untouchable. And
yeah,
this
yeah.
showed him that
Well,
he is not.
some would argue that he is still untouchable. He has not went down for this yet. There are
Well,
plenty of folks saying that this is a nothing burger. There's a lot of folks saying that.
I found it curious that in his statement, he said that it was so disrespectful to go after a former president. So now he's not president no more? I thought he was.
I don't know what to do with that. I don't know, but man, to me, this is unprecedented times. I mean, obviously, Richard Nixon and all of that, but that was before most of our lifetimes. I don't even know what it's like to live through this shit. Man, I don't. This ain't something I want. I mean, I love talking politics all day, every day. Trump is one of the most interesting topics politically in my lifetime. But this is, as Cat Williams would say, this shit right here, I don't want this.
No,
I
because
don't want this.
it's going to get real because they're talking about an indictment within 3 days.
Did they really?
I'm telling you, man, that you're not busting into a former president's house if you ain't got nothing. You're not looking. Come on now.
Damn.
That's risking your life and your job and your livelihood.
Damn.
You ain't
All
doing that
right.
right. Something's up.
Damn. I mean, I feel like Florida Evans in good times with the punch bowl. Damn, damn. For all you, hey, for all you guys old enough to know what the hell I'm talking about, I feel like
I do.
Florida Evans with the punch bowl in good time. I don't. Wow, that's all I can say. Well, listen, Joby, I got to get out of here, man, because it's getting so fucking blank. I can't even be seen anymore. So
All right,
I'm
bro.
gonna look. Yeah, I'm gonna look like a ghost monster on Pac-Man that's been eaten, just eyes and teeth. You know when they had the eyes and teeth going back to the box after you get chomped? That's what I'm starting to look like. So, all
All right,
right, man.
buddy.
I'll catch you on the next one.
All right, peace.
All right. Okay. I'm comments. I'm not going to be able to really take any more calls. I'm got a little last of the walk, but I'm just simply getting too black for my own damn good here. What it says, never done this in our history. Also, never had as big as a criminal as our president either. Wow. I kind of wonder for you guys who are watching, what do you think the legacy of number 45 will be? I mean, we talk about the economy. Before Biden, he had some great jobs numbers. Economically, he wasn't considered bad. But what do you think the legacy will be of President Trump? My guess is it's going to be this shit. It's going to be January 6th. It's going to be hard to bring it. Like Nixon. You hear more about Nixon with Watergate than you do anything that took place when he was in office. Just like with Bill Clinton. You hear about Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, and a conversation about that is soon to follow. So my guess is, and it's not just coming from a liberal. If you look at the transcripts from January 6th, what was it, Laura Ingraham, Brian Kilmeade, they were all calling and telling Trump, this is going to ruin everything that you've done. They were calling him on January 6th, trying to get him to call off, let's say the protest, for you guys who call it a protest, that they were trying to get in touch with Trump, and they were suggesting that this is going to ruin everything he done. In other words, all of the good that he allegedly done for the country was going to be ruined by the protests. So I'm seriously wondering what will be his legacy, come forward. Now, I'll give you one thing. Adam Kinzinger, who's obviously on the January 6th hearing committee, Adam Kinzinger said on This Week with George Stephanopoulos that 5 years from now, you will have a hard time finding anyone that admits they supported Trump. Now, who knows? But when he said 5 years from now, you'll have a hard time finding anyone who supported Trump, he's meaning that Trump will fall on the wrong side of history so far that people will be afraid to even admit they supported him. Very similar to how, if you notice, when they had, what was it, Topeka versus the Board of Kansas, when they were talking about integrating black schools with black people, you got the little black girl going to an all-white school, and there's the National Guard. Now, I'm not trying to make it about race, but you'll hear me out here. You got the black girl going to a school, and there's all these white folks that are spitting and all of that, and she had to have the National Guard. The point I'm trying to make is everybody from that event is not dead. And yet, if you try to find people in our today's society that admits that they are in favor of banning blacks from going to white schools, you'd almost have an impossible time finding anybody that would say that. Yet, we know all of those people are not dead. So the point he was trying to make is that Trump is going to fall so far on the wrong side of history that people are going to be hesitant to admit that they once supported him. That's what they're saying. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that his legacy will be tarnished that far? That folks won't even want to admit that they once, will the MAGA hat that I own two of, by the way, will the MAGA hat become a symbol that you don't, like the Confederate flag, for instance? The Confederate flag lives on, but you can't really wave it everywhere. It's not a popular thing to wave. Will the MAGA hat ultimately get treated like that? That's what we're talking about. Anyway, folks, listen, I got to let you guys go. As you see, there's no light, and I'm just a black spot on the screen. I appreciate you guys rolling with me. Catch you later.